I bet if you are a subscriber of mine, I already have a good idea of who you are. First of all, you're probably a girly pop, which we love because I'm all about supporting women and healing women especially. You're probably a girly that wants to help people. You're probably a girl that wants everybody to heal and has a good heart on her sleeve and all of these kinds of things, right? Let's say, for example, your friend messed up, right? Your friend made a mistake. Your friend is beating themselves up about it, and you, as the loving, supporting friend that you are, you comfort them. You tell them, hey babe, it was just a mistake. It's okay. You did all of the correct things that you could have done after you made the mistake. Give yourself some grace. You should be fine, you know? It's not that big of a deal. We'll get through this. It's okay to feel upset, but eventually you will get better. So why do you tell your friend that? Why do you give your friend so much grace and so much space for them to make mistakes, for them to, feel bad about themselves, all of those kinds of things, but you don't do the same for yourself? Why do you give other people so much grace? Why do you treat everyone like they're your bestie, even if they're not? Even if you guys are not that close, you still give them kindness, respect, and the benefit of the doubt. Why don't you give yourself that? That's my question, girl. Hi guys, I'm Eternally Elle and welcome back to a new video. Today we are going to be talking about giving yourself some motherfucking grace, girl, because why the hell are you treating everybody in your life with the respect and the dignity that they deserve, of course, but not yourself, okay? And this is why you feel so empty. This is why you feel like as if you're filling up everyone else's cup but your own. Because for some reason, you keep pouring your energy, pouring your love into people that may or may not deserve it even, and then you don't give yourself that same grace. Like, your friend will make a bigger mistake than you, and you'll be like, oh, it's okay, girl, like, don't worry, I'm here for you, blah, blah, blah. But then you'll make a small little mistake, like spilling milk on the counter, and you're like, oh my god, how could I do this? I'm so stupid, blah, blah, blah. Girl, I'm gonna need you to take a deep breath and calm down, okay? There is absolutely no reason why you are not treating yourself as your best friend. There is no reason why you are treating yourself like your worst enemy instead of your best friend. Because if you didn't have any friends, if you didn't have any family, you would only be left with yourself, girl. So here's the thing. You need to be able to be self-sufficient enough to realize, hey, I made a mistake, but I can learn from it. I can grow from it. Okay? Or I'm having a tough time right now, but I know that I will be okay. I'm going to give myself that grace to feel all of the emotions that I need to feel. You guys know what I'm saying? You guys need to be giving yourself grace as much as you are giving grace to other people. Okay? And maybe you're even allowing grace to those who keep disrespecting you, keep mistreating you, okay? Because when you are a girl that hasn't started her healing journey and she's insecure and, you're just not feeling your best self, right? Like, of course you're not going to give yourself grace because you feel like as though you don't deserve it. But then the person that keeps fucking you over, let's say your ex, you keep giving them grace. You keep giving them all of the grace. Why is that? Like, why do you keep giving someone else grace that clearly does not deserve it? But then if you make one mistake, all of a sudden you're the worst person on earth to exist. Are you serious? Your ex that has lied to you, that has mistreated you, that has abused you, maybe physically, emotionally, all of that stuff, he keeps getting the excuse of, oh, he had a rough childhood. Oh, well, he's just not in a good mood today. Oh, well, something happened at work. Whatever the excuse is. Why do you guys keep giving excuses to people that do not deserve them? Stop giving your grace and your loving energy to people who do not deserve it. Okay? Because there's absolutely no reason why they should be getting that from you in the first place, right? Because if they keep messing up and there is absolutely no change, but they keep apologizing, you're like, hey babe, I keep bringing this up and this keeps happening. They're like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I won't do that again. And then it keeps happening and happening and happening. Like, why don't you see the pattern, okay? Apology without change is manipulation. Okay, that's basically what they're doing, girl. They are manipulating you to stay with them because you're stupid enough to think that they're gonna change when they're not, okay? And I'm not saying you guys are stupid, per se. Like, some of you guys could be stupid and just be like, hey, like, I'm just gonna keep taking them back because I'm so insecure, I don't wanna be alone, right? But some of you guys keep letting them get away with the same shit over and over and over again because you're afraid to be alone. Yeah, I said it. Because you're afraid to be alone, because you're not comfortable in your solitude, and because you need validation from someone who barely even gives you good validation. So start giving yourself grace, okay? Because I used to be that type of person, okay? I used to be so insecure to the point where I kept making up excuses for other people's shitty behavior and shitty actions. But then if I were to like mess up on something like small or like minuscule, I would literally like freak out and be like, oh my God, I'm the worst person ever. No, I'm not the worst person ever, okay? And I've made mistakes before. We're all human, bro. And these are not mistakes where like, oh, like you were racist or homophobic. Like, no, those are not mistakes. That's prejudice, bro. That's being racist. That's being homophobic. That's not the kind of mistakes I'm talking about, like some influencers like to call them, okay? Like, I'm talking like actual like mistakes, like miscommunication, you know, like you miss someone's actual tone, like stuff like that, right? Like something small, like not something as huge as like being racist or homophobic or just being a fucking bigot, you know what I'm saying? Like, I started giving myself that grace because I started to realize, hey, I was raised a certain way, you know, in some ways that raising helped me out, but then in some ways that raising made me flawed. There are some things within my family that I want to break, like the curse, like the generational curses, right? There are some family members I do not want to end up like, okay? So I kind of have to reteach myself everything. I kind of have to take mentorship from other people because I don't want to end up being like a family member in my family, you know, just because they raised me a certain way doesn't mean I have to be like that. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, I am my own person. I get to have my own morals. I get to have my own values. And I get to recognize, hey, this behavior that I have been doing because I got it from my environment, my family, is not okay. You know, it may have been normalized, but it's not okay. So I'm just not going to do it. Okay? So I think by giving yourself grace, you need to be able to emotionally detach from other people. Because when you are attached to something, like, especially emotionally, that thing controls you, okay? Like, I feel like I made a video on this once on TikTok where I was like, hey, any kind of emotional attachment is wrong. Like, even if they're your best friends or family members, like, you should not be emotionally attached to them. Why? Because if they end up hurting you, you're gonna feel like shit, bro. If they end up hurting you, if they end up, you know, making a mistake that, like, affects you, that's gonna like be the end of the world for you, you know what I'm saying? And like anything you're emotionally attached to controls you emotionally. Why would you want someone other than yourself to control you emotionally? And this helps with giving yourself grace because it's just like, hey, I'm not in control of other people's actions, but I am in control of how I react. I am in control of what I want to do with our relationship going forward. All of that stuff. Okay, so give yourself grace by cutting people off that only bring negativity into your life. Life is too short to be around irritated and just overall miserable people, okay? Like, imagine this, right? I literally quit my job. Literally quit my job at Starbucks because everyone was just so miserable. And this is not everybody, right? Because I have some besties there. I have some people I'm cool with there. But, like, dude, when I tell you that there was this one lady that would just complain and complain and complain and complain. Like, I'm telling you guys, she would literally complain about things that she could literally fix by tomorrow. Like, she just wanted to be miserable. Like, she would start off her day complaining to other people to see, like, if other people would want to complain with her and everything. And I get it, right? Because for some reason, complaining, especially at the workplace, has been so normalized. And that's, like, a way of bonding almost, you know? It's just like, oh my God, like, can you believe it? Like, I can't believe we're here at work, blah, blah. Oh my God, I know, right? Like, this sucks. Well, I want to go home. I'm so tired. Like, if it's the first time, like, it's fine. But, like, after a while, I'm just like, oh my God, like, is this, like, really how you live? Like, you are so miserable. I'm sorry, but you are so miserable. But that obviously wasn't the only reason why I left. But honestly, even if it was the only reason, good for me. Because it's just like, why am I wasting my time getting stressed out over something that I do not need to be getting stressed out over? Why? So learn how to emotionally detach, and then nothing that anybody says will bother you anymore. You will be in your complete I don't give a fuck mentality. You know why? Because you truly have to understand that you cannot control other people. People have free will. They're going to say things and do things that might hurt you. And if they do, and you're emotionally attached, you're gonna be like, holy shit, like, what did I do? Like, oh my God, like, that's when you don't give yourself grace. That's when you start blaming yourself for their actions and how they made you feel, instead of being like, oh, that person just messed me up. That person was messed up for that. Goodbye, cut them off. Like, you know what I'm saying? So emotional detachment is key in giving yourself grace. Also realize that when you start your healing journey, when you start your inner work journey, that does not mean that you are going to be completely perfect all of the time. You know, you're still a human being. You cannot control that. So keep that in mind when you are going through your healing journey and your healing process, because you can like find something about yourself that you want to change, of course, because self-awareness is key. In order to heal, in order to change, you need to be self-aware about the things you do and the people around you, all of that stuff, right? But if you notice one thing and you're like, okay, I don't really like this about myself, I'm gonna change it, then you change it, and then you're looking for other things to change. Oh, I want to change this. Oh, I want to change that. Like, give yourself that grace and that time, girl, because you may be healing yourself fast, you may be intaking that knowledge fast, but it can get very overwhelming very quickly. You can get burnt out from self-improvement very quickly. Okay, so take your time, go at your own pace. That's completely fine and that's completely natural, okay? And it's okay to make mistakes throughout, you know? Just give yourself that grace, because healing is not all sunshines and rainbows all the time. You know, it can be hard. It can look like days where you just want to be in bed all day. You're crying, you're watching your comfort show, you're trying to do anything you can to feel better, and that's completely fine. You know, that's what healing looks like. Healing can look like that one day. Healing can look like being your best self one day. You know, you're grinding, you're meditating, you're doing everything you said you would, but then other times you're just like, yo, I'm tired, I don't want to do anything. You know, because you're completely changing your body, your mind, and your spirit when you're healing. Like, I don't think you guys understand how much change you're going through. Change is our natural state as human beings, okay? But when we change so much and put so much pressure on ourselves to be so much better and completely change like who we are in like such a short amount of time, it can be mentally taxing. So you have to remember to give yourself breaks and allow yourself to relax. And that's actually a really good transition into my next point. Allow yourself to rest. Stop feeling guilty for resting. Okay, I'm saying this extra loud because I need to hear it myself, because some days I'm not productive and some days I'm just mentally and physically tired. I want to stay in bed, but then I try to remind myself, hey, that's okay. I can stay in bed a little bit longer. You know why? Because I don't want to blame myself for resting anymore. You know, because I grew up in a family where it's just like, if you're not doing something, if you're not productive, then, oh, you're lazy. Like, I remember just like having the most productive day, and I finally got a chance to like rest and like get in my bed and just like doom scroll or whatever, and I'm just like, should I be doing something right now? Like, am I forgetting to do something else? Like, I don't know, like I'm feeling kind of, you know, like bad about myself for not doing anything. But then it's just like, girl, you literally did so much today. Why can't you just rest for a little while? You know, stop feeling guilty for resting. Rest is very, very, very important if you are healing, if you are doing the inner work, okay? Because a lot of people can't do what you're doing. A lot of people don't want to do the healing and the inner work because they know it's a lot of work. It may look daunting to them. They don't want to face their demons. They feel too comfortable at where they're at right now. They don't want their friends and family to think of them differently. All of that stuff. You know, you're putting a lot of risk on the line when you actually start becoming a better person and start realizing that these people around you are not the people that are supposed to be around you, and that they actually pray for your downfall, and that they actually treat you like shit, and all of those things. It can be really hard. Trust me, I understand it, because the amount of people that I've lost that I thought were my friends, that I thought were people that were going to be in my life forever. When I tell you guys that, like, after I made, like, the biggest changes throughout my life, I thought that I would still have the same people around me, but no. I didn't. I thought I would still have the same amount of support and love that I did. No, I didn't. Because it was never really there. They liked me when I didn't realize my potential. People liked when I didn't ripple anything, you know, like I didn't go against the grain and everything, even though something was very wrong. You know, people liked when I didn't speak up for myself. People liked when I was still emotionally attached to them, even though they kept hurting me over and over and over again and disrespecting me and being rude. All of that stuff. So just realize that it's a lot of factors that go into how your healing journey goes, you know? Did you grow up in a family that made you feel healthy and secure? Did you grow up in a family that made you feel anxious and avoidant? Did you grow up in a family that made you... Like, it all depends on your environment. It all depends on how you grew up. It all depends on the people around you. It depends... There are so many factors that go into healing. Like, it's easy for other people to heal more than others depending on how much they went through as a child, you know? Did they face severe trauma? Did they face not so severe trauma? Did this kid grow up to learn what it's like to have a healthy attachment style? Give yourself that grace. Like, if you've been through so much as a kid and you're finally starting to realize, hey, like, I gotta face my demons. Hey, I can't just keep ignoring what keeps hurting me. I can't keep repressing my emotions, all of that stuff. Give yourself that grace and be like, hey, this is my first time, like, actually addressing my issues, you know? This is really brave of me to do and just recognize. So why am I being so hard on myself when I make a mistake? Why am I being so hard on myself that I'm not at the same level as other people? Not yet. Okay, girl? Because there are some people that I know that I've been through so much more shit, more than me. And they are still over here healing, happy, treating everyone with kindness and respect, you know, and having boundaries and not letting other people cross their boundaries and not letting other people be rude or mistreat them, you know? So that's admirable. Instead of being jealous or insecure as like, why can I get there? Oh, why is it taking me so long to heal? Blah, blah, blah. You guys have to recognize that everyone heals differently, and you are all on your own journey with this. Enjoy the journey. Stop trying to fast forward. Because if you only try to rush it and fast forward it, trust me, you're not actually getting the quality work done, okay? And I have a video on this on how to start your healing journey and other things that go into becoming a better person, becoming that girl. You know what I'm saying? So check those out. Give yourself that grace because it's okay. All right? Like, don't beat yourself up for having a mental breakdown. Don't beat yourself up for crying. Don't beat yourself up for resting. Don't beat yourself up for, you know, making a mistake that you once did in your past before you started healing, okay? Because you are literally rewiring your brain of how it used to think, feel, and work. You know, of course it's going to take time. You know, like this negative mindset you may have, it's not forever. You know? The first step is acknowledging it. The first step is awareness and recognizing it. That's a huge first step because a lot of people aren't even self-aware of what they're doing to themselves and to other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know grown-ass adults that are so unhealed and they just refuse to face the traumas that they've been through. But then again, they're suffering because they're not facing those traumas. So would you rather be uncomfortable for a short period of time for a long-term goal? Or would you rather avoid all of your issues, avoid all of your trauma, all of that stuff, and still suffer in the end? What would you rather do? Personally, I'd rather just be uncomfortable for a while until I finally realize and heal myself. And know my knowledge, know my worth, all of that. You know, so you're gonna have to have that same attitude, girl. It's okay. You guys have to understand that. You guys are gonna keep making mistakes throughout your healing journey. You guys may catch yourself saying something or thinking something that your past self would have done. But as long as you check yourself, like, for example, like, if I'm driving and I have, like, such a negative mindset about, like, all of the drivers on the road, I'm just like, hey, we don't do that anymore. Because what's that gonna do for me? Like, why am I getting so frustrated and angry over people that don't know how to drive? That's on them. That's not on me. So why am I wasting all of this mental energy on stupid people? Like, why? And that's it. And that goes for other people that mistreat you. Emotionally detached. Don't hang out with them as much. Keep the distance. Keep the space to keep yourself sane. And then all of a sudden, no matter what they say, you won't care. Because what does that have to do with you? A lot of people that hurt you and mistreat you are unhealed people. They're not the ones doing the work like you. They're not the ones being aware of what they're saying. So who cares? Give yourself that grace, girl. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I missed doing the Tough Love Edition video, so I kind of wanted to do this with you guys because it's such a beautiful, compassionate, and empowering message. But some of y'all need to hear it, like with a little tough love. You know what I'm saying? Because I want you guys to give yourself that grace, okay? And I don't want you guys to think that I am this perfect person that is fully healed and all that stuff, right? Because I started this channel was on my healing journey. I'm still on my healing journey, okay? Because I'm only 20 years old, guys. Like, I'm not that old. I have not experienced that much life at all. You know what I'm saying? I've only been on this earth for like a little over 2 decades. So you guys have to understand that I am on my healing journey with you. And that's what makes my content so authentic. I don't want to paint a fake image for social media and act like I'm just this perfect person, you know? I am sharing the knowledge that I have received throughout my healing journey, that I've researched, okay, that I've read about, that I've done all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I want you guys to understand that I am on this journey with you. And that I'm still practicing giving myself grace. I am still practicing loving myself to my fullest. I'm still practicing emotional detachment because it takes practice. It takes time. You can't just emotionally detach from people overnight. Okay? Because especially if you were raised in a way that you have to be attached to everybody, that you feel like you have to go like above and beyond for everybody, even if they don't deserve it. So remember that. Just be like, hey, Elle, the beautiful content creator that I watch videos from and get my info from, she's healing with me too. So if I'm going through something and I'm feeling all of these emotions and feelings, I know I'm not alone. You are never alone in your feelings, girl. Trust me. So please give yourself that grace. I love you guys so much.